The day of 11th April, I think, will go down in the history books of KZN. If a lot of people lost their loved ones, a lot of possessions went away during the flood.
Main roads across the city are shut and mudslides have destroyed many homes.
About 6 o'clock in the afternoon, the evening, we notice the rain is coming heavier.
Hope it slows down now.
Except I'm looking through the window, I can see the drains are filling. While I'm doing the notice, water is rising.
During the previous floods, this place was flooded, but we've never seen devastation at this magnitude.
Water rushing into houses and settlements.
In April 2022, the slow-moving storm brought long periods of heavy rain to KwaZulu-Natal, which caused flooding and mudslides in Durban and surrounding areas. The floods affected over 40,000 people and left a trail of destruction.
My name is Vin Naidu. The Putu, as you see in the background here, has stood the test of time. During the previous floods, this place was flooded, but we've never seen devastation at this magnitude.
Hi.
As you can see, that's the municipality working there.
Yeah.
They're busy trying to widen the river so we don't have more flood waters coming onto the verge. Alicia, this is basically all the destruction. In terms of the destruction, tell you what we've lost. We've lost our Navagara temple, we've lost our flagpole, our Dakshinamurti, and our Madre Viran idol that was gone. The only two deities are the ones behind me that have been saved in the floods. But yes, we are hoping that we're going to have a lot of sponsors coming forward with their services and also sponsors to acquire the new murtis. It's not going to be an overnight task. It is going to be a long term to rebuild and to acquire the new murtis.
Founded in 1954, the long-standing Sadhana temple in Karwastan has been through some floods, but never of this magnitude.
This temple has taught me that not everything is what it is. We're going to have our ups and downs. We're going to have our tragedies and celebrations, but at the end of the day, the temple is going to be here. When we are gone, the younger generation will come and it will still continue. We will have devotees continuing, and this is the only temple in Sadhana township. So we have a very close Hindu community.
Hinduism suffered drastically with the onset of the floods. Watching half the temple still standing amazes me. It's a surprise to see the age-old murtis still intact, especially the worship that is so close to the ground, the Putu.
This is the Putu. This was inside the mother's temple, and as you can see that when the building collapsed, this Putu was still intact. With the flood waters sweeping through this property, it still was intact. There was a concrete roof slab over the structure that fell down, but unfortunately there was protection underneath here where that slab didn't flatten the Putu. So this on its own tells you the power of the mother. Even during the previous floods, we had the same experience. This was untouched.
The rainwater swept away roads, bridges, power lines and entire buildings. It was heartbreaking to see such damage and hear the stories of the victims.
It's not very rich place. And this is the low-cost homes in Plain Street, in Tongan. We are in this complex, it's municipality rented. We have 44 units. And being a low income, we are in a poverty place. We live as the days go by. And when the floods came in, we were devastated. About 6 o'clock during the afternoon, in the evening, we noticed the rain is coming heavier. And as the rain came, I kept on looking through the window. I said, you know what, I can see the drains are filling. So while the drains were filling, I said, no, I need to go and check if I can sweep, maybe the dirt we can push one way, that water at least can go through. I did that. While I'm doing that, I noticed water is rising. I took the broom, I started sweeping back. Started sweeping the water towards the riverside.
Suburb like Tongaat with almost 100,000 people was really saddened to see that the entire waterworks was washed away. People overnight were homeless. There was a story of a mum and her grandchildren were washed away. We visited those households, we visited the areas that were affected. People didn't bath for 3 weeks, sleeping in community halls in winter in the cold. I think the basic dignity, the basic right of people have been really affected. It is a real pain to understand what these people are going through in their lives.
It was dark. Thanks to reaction unit, they came. And thanks to Vishrup temple, Naveen Pane, the trustee, the chairperson of the temple, he literally came, he started housed us immediately. He started taking all our people in. And when I went there, I saw all of them, shivering. We're all shivering. Because now you must know the teenagers started opening all the manholes for the water to go through. But the water wasn't going, it's still rising because why? The drainage was blocked. The sewers were blocked. So when all these things were, they tried to their best to save whatever they could, but they couldn't. Then because we have 44 units had to rush and go into the hall. But so happened that most of them took refuge into their families' homes. So we were 14 families that stayed into the hall, and we stayed there for 14 days.
Bayhead Road, guys. There's trucks in the water. There's a heister in the water. There's the canal, dead ahead.
Anybody heading to
Full canal.
Thousands of residents in KwaZulu-Natal are without safe drinking water due to the floods. Reports of water outages by affected residents have been flooding social media, with some people saying they have been without water for many days.
Where this is flowing, it's going to go Nana as well.
The calamity that Tongaat is experiencing, I think we can liken it to various events that happen in history. And one that I would like to compare with, in a way of philosophy or the happenings, is the story of Ram and Sita. In fact, when everything seemed to have been going well, and everything seems to be working out, and you never know when the events in history is just going to change and your life will take a completely different turn.
We didn't even bath for a week. We didn't have clothes, and on top of the floods, we didn't have water. We didn't have no water. We still do not have water.
Most areas after the 1 week received partial water or some water flows. Some areas such as the suburbs of Tongaat received no water. And we've been through many, various site visits, and what we experienced was people telling us their stories of they don't cook because there's no access to water. Water is the basic right, it's dignity for many people.
We're living with bottled water. We have to go sometime, tankers come, we have to go. Then we got Jojo tanks that we're going full. It's not easy for us. Our life is very, very difficult.
Besides the floods, the lives lost, the complete turn around of one's life, something else came to the fore which the Ramayana teaches about, and that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that the world is one family. And Ram says that, listen, we are going to the forest, we're going to experience another side of life. After all, this is all linked. This doesn't happen. And this is the karmic journey that we are taking. Let us make the best of it. But one thing somebody should always keep in mind, karma does not mean reward and punishment.
Main roads across the city are shut and mudslides have destroyed many homes. South Africa's military has been deployed to Durban and the surrounding eThekwini metropolitan area on Tuesday to assist with rescue operations as residents flee flooded areas.
Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. I think it was last year, I kept on having this dream that you know what, this place was full of sand. This place was destroyed. There was no fencing, nothing, and the only thing that still stood was my prayer place, my Hanuman Baba's prayer place, and I still kept it neat. In the dream now, my dream I had, it was like about 5 times the same dream over and over, and I'm only cleaning my prayer place. Everything else is full of daga, but I'm cleaning that thing and I'm coming inside my house. I'm cleaning my Hanuman Baba, I'm coming inside my house. My dream showed me that, and I've seen like dirt, a lot of dirt, but I kept on praying, and my tulsi tree. But I don't have the tulsi tree got this thing. But Hanuman Baba still standing there. He's still standing there because it never moved. Yet, if I show you now, that if you move it, it's moving. It will fall down. But he never moved. In my dream, it showed he still stood. And when I go and look at my prayer place, he's still standing. So I decided today, you know what? Because every Friday is coming now, we're getting this dark clouds coming in. There's going to be another storm. We're going to go to our 3rd flood. What's going to happen? Because the first time I cleaned it, second time it happened again. And he's still standing there. Then I said, no, today let me clean it. Clean because why? I give my dhar from a Tuesday till a Sunday. I give my jal from a Monday to a Sunday. Rain or no rain, sun, I'm giving my dhar. Dharno Raghubhar Bimal Yasha Jodhyayak Palchar Sitaram Buddhihin Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavan Kumar.
The temple has been in existence for over 70 years. This is a Vishnu temple. That's the temple that's still standing. And we have the Shakti temple, and we also have a servant temple. Unfortunately, the Shakti temple, or the Mother's temple, was the one that was completely destroyed during the Easter weekend floods.
When the floods hit, it didn't choose a particular religion, a particular race group, whether you're rich or poor. It just hit everywhere. And now this has given us an opportunity to realize that we are one family. So when Ram and Sita and Lakshmana eventually face the difficulties that were in a forest, it brought out their best.
Despite the devastation, people clung on with faith. With faith comes optimism and hope in the future to rebuild.
South Africa is a very unique country, and I think what we realized during this time is that no matter what race you are, what religion you are, what sect you are, that doesn't count. When it comes to uniting people, to helping people, the bond of Atma Rama is that every soul is divine and we need to assist our fellow people. So it goes beyond just you are my family, it goes beyond that you are just my race, or it goes just beyond you are my religion, or it goes beyond all of that. Whether you're young, old, whatever race, whatever caste, whatever creed you are, we need to help our fellow South Africans.
The day we start learning that we are here to cooperate and not just to grab and to push people out, but to come together. And during this time, you know, lots of people were saying, when we did a walkabout on the banks of one of the rivers that flooded, we realized that there was absolutely no way for the river to go, and everything was blocked. Now, do we blame the river? We cannot. It is we who have created that situation.
The community of Shallcross set an example by clearing debris and restoring the bridges, bringing people together across all faiths, colour and creed. Today, through their faith, roads are working and places of worship rebuilt.
The temple, with the support of the community and well-wishers, we managed to rebuild it. And you know, it just tells you the faith people have in the temple, because obviously people, the devotees that have come in here, have seen benefits in terms of prayer, and the benefits of prayer for them as well, sacrifices that they've made. Being a proud resident of Sadhana for over 60 years, you know, as a businessman also, you know, we've got to put back into our community.
The floods may be a test from the Almighty, dampening the spirit of man, but the flame of faith, when fanned, will burn brightly into the future.
And when I joined the temple over 12-15 years ago and then got involved with the administration, we started the rebuilding of the old temple, and that was completed in 2012. And yes, when this happened in April, I asked the committee to please allow me to get involved with the rebuilding, because I knew what it took, you know, and being in the business community, we knew how to approach certain business people to assist us. Oh, I feel very much close to the temple. It's part of life. I'm very attached to the temple. So, you know, it's not about what you put in, it's what you do for the community as well. Absolutely. And being the only temple in the Sadhana area, we have a lot of worshippers that look forward for prayer. And that's why we try and do our best to allow the community to come and pray safely. You know, the one thing I always say to people, no matter what religion you come from, prayer is very important. You know, if you know there's a God there and you pray, I think your prayers will be answered.
I thank God for everything, for my family, for the people around here that gave us the love, that support, and all the angels that God has brought upon us to help us, to sustain us every day. I thank them. We had a lot of people that came in from all our organizations, from Christianity, Muslim, the Hindu Forum, Gift of the Givers, the Sai group, the Sabha, the Civic. We had some counselor, one counselor did come in, and there's too many to mention. We actually even had the MEC at one part came to the temple. He addressed us and he went. But the only people that didn't come and address us was the municipality, because up till today our houses are still not done. We're living with doors that are open, that anybody can at any time can come into our homes. We're living with pipes that are still broken in, and they haven't done anything for us up till today. That's the saddest part of it all.
The great Hindu saints all teach us that even harsh karma, when faced in wisdom, can be a catalyst for spiritual advancement. In all things and in all times, remember that even when life seems dark and stormy, God is in the boat with us, guiding us to safety.